Hello everybody, this is Steve from Old Boy Moto. G'day guys, welcome back. Welcome back to part 3 of the John Deere loader series. Finally, it's after Christmas and got all my parts to fix up that leak and replace bits and pieces on that loader. So, wasn't a cheap exercise, but I guess when you look at it, this old 410's really served me well over the last 20 years. And really, apart from just routine oil changes, it really hasn't let me down. So I haven't really spent all that much on it. And when I add it all up, I've probably spent more on servicing cars and motorcycles than I have this loader. So that's pretty good. All up, pardon me, with parts and filters and oils and everything else, I probably would have spent 1,250 Australian dollars. And it's all back together. I haven't started it as yet. I'm still to put the oils in. So I'll go over what happened with mine and hopefully it'll help you if you ever get stuck with your pressure control valve. Okay, so I'll just show you the old stuff. This is the stuff I pulled out. That shaft there was $282 Australian. There's not much of it, but that's the shaft that goes into the valve, into the pressure control valve. This is basically the assembly. This is called an aperture. Now, where it goes is inside that, and it stops about there. So it's supposed to sit in there snugly. But the problem with this one was, when I pulled it out, it was just floating around inside there. And it looked like it's just been hammered. You know, that's pretty rough. And what's missing on this is there's a little slot that sits inside the end of the spring. So the spring goes over it. And that way, it sits inside that valve, sorry, this is a bit fiddly, like that on the end there. But there's a little tube or a saddle that stops the spring from rattling around on that. Well, that's all been worn off, so this thing was doing nothing. It was just, you know, floating around inside that valve. It was absolutely doing nothing. Also, there should be a couple of shims. Now, from what I can gather, don't pay any attention to the schematic that you'll find online, because all that's doing is showing you parts. It's not actually showing you the assembly and the sequence. So from what I could work out is the actual shims go on the back of your spring, and then the nut on the valve goes over the top of that, and that's where the shimming should take place, because you can't actually shim it from there. That's flat because the saddle's missing on that. That was all just flopping around, rolling around, doing all sorts of stuff inside there. And I'd say that was causing a few problems with the hydraulics. You know, if it was trying to control pressure, it wouldn't have been doing a good job of it. Still going. Now, what I did find is when I pulled the sucker apart, that's how I found it. It hadn't been replaced. And whoever put it back after the repair they did on it didn't put it back in sequence. So that's all been taken care of. So this whole thing, just for a couple of washes, and the sucker that was leaking, that was the main problem that drew my attention to it. Obviously, that one there. And that little O-ring, and a couple of shims, which weren't, I didn't find any shims in this, so they're already back in the backhoe. That cost me $412 Australian to get it going. For what you see there, basically, that's a lot of money for that little bit. Thanks, John Deere. And these were just off, you know, different O-rings that were off the connections, and there was no way I was putting those back the way they are. So I just had a generic set of O-rings and put it all back together that way. So I'll show you the oil that I'm going to put in it. I'll put the oil in and then I'll start it up and I'll be going like that. Let's hope everything's going to hold together and there's no more leaks. Okay guys, so this is the oil I'm going to be using. So what I've gone for, I've used this stuff before and I've found it's pretty good. It's Gulf Western, and I've gone for the Agri Trans UTTF, which seems to cover these old backhoes pretty well for the transmission and hydraulics. I've never had any dramas with this oil. It's always worked well. It doesn't seem to get hot and that sort of thing, so it's pretty good. And also for the engine, I've gone for Gulf Western. It's a 1540. This is a fairly old vehicle, so you know we can bang it in. It's pretty much a truck oil, heavy duty diesel oil. So anyway, that lot cost me $345 from Australian, from trusty old Super Cheap Auto. And I have a trade card, so I get a pretty good discount with Super Cheap, so I stick with them. They're pretty good. So let's put these oils in. Yeah, right, that's looking pretty good for now. That filter takes a lot of oil too, so I may have to top a little bit up later on. We'll see how that goes. Now for the transmission. Fun, fun, fun. Okay, so I've set myself up a little bit here, guys. I've tied back the clutch pedal to try and get it out of the way of the drum. And I've got quite a big funnel in there. And anyway, this will be fun. If not, I'm going to have to decant it into smaller jugs or something and fill it before I can tip this up. This will be a good laugh, if anything. Yeah, so that seems to be working. It's amazing because I don't have much room here. Yeah, that's going to do it. Okay guys, so I've got my first 20 litres in, and I'm just going to top it off with about another 5. When I dumped it, or when it all ran out, I must have lost about 30 litres, so you know, I'm going to give it probably a little bit more than that. That's nearly a quarter. I've found that usually after a complete change I'm putting in about 30 litres. So anyway, there it is, and that's not bad. I've only managed to spill that much. That's pretty good. Righto guys, this is the moment of truth, and it doesn't hurt to say a prayer because I'm not all that confident in my mechanical skills. They're God-given. So dear Lord, make this machine go, because I can ill afford the time to do it all again. So here we go. Great. So we've got a low battery. I usually have it on trickle charger all the time and it doesn't matter, but it's been sitting here for 3 weeks. The weather's turned cold and obviously there's not enough charge in there. I'll give it one more hit and see what happens. It's going to take a fair crank because I've replaced the fuel filter as well. I have bled it, so that's all good. Let's see what happens on this next crank. Right, that's all done with. So see you in the next clip, guys. I'm going to put it on the charger. Hey guys, I've put my CTEC charger on, and there is a supply mode, which is, you can see there, and I'm not sure whether that enables me to just use that as a cranker, so I'll give that a go and see what happens. Well, that's her going. Looking pretty good to me. That little squeal you hear, that was the pump picking up the oil. So looks like we're in business. Woohoo! Can't see any leaks there, so I hope that keeps up. I'll let that run for a little while, and then I'll just check the oil again. I'll check the hydraulic oil. It will probably need a top off. So anyway guys, thanks for watching. If you have any questions on what I've done, or if you want any info for your loader, look, I'll try and help. Just bang it up in the comments and I'll see what I can do. Hopefully that's all going to work well. If you see another video and I'm pulling it apart, you'll know it's failed again, but I don't think it will. It's looking pretty good. I'll try the hydraulics in a moment. Righto guys, very happy with that. There's no leaks, and it's just running, purring like a kitten again. The main objective has been achieved, and I always remember to thank the Lord for that, because I know he's going to look after me next time. One good thing about these drums I wanted to show you is these Gulf Western drums. They have this little breather thing in there, and that made it so much easier to pour this thing. I was expecting to you know, spill it everywhere. Look at that. That's the only, and I've also got a little contour here which really helps. I only put 2 drops on the backhoe, never wasted any oil, so very happy with that. Now also with the CTEC charger, never realised that's the first time I've ever basically jump started on supply mode, which is fantastic. Just a great thing. So I'm very happy I've got this CTEC charger as well, and that usually is on the backhoe all the time. It just goes into trickle charge and keeps that battery up. It's getting it on a bit, but because it's one of those big long 9-platers, they tend to last forever before they break. If you trickle charge them, you can keep them going forever. Absolutely wrapped. Thanks for watching again, guys. Now I'll have to pack up all this mess, and I've got my loader back and running, so there's no more excuses to not do any more work. Here we go again. Bye for now.